Why do you even know that? Facts. According to Reddit. Number 20. Giraffes' vagina are the most human-like. Always wondered who got paid to figure things like this out. You know, this is educational YouTube, so I don't want to hear it, you know? It's not like I'm part of some kind of demonetization gang. One entry in. What can I do? What can I say? I'm glad that this is going to be that kind of list. Here's hoping that you learn something that you can really use, that you can really apply when you leave the list tonight. Number 19. There was a NASA-backed study in the 60s that tried to teach dolphins how to speak. There was one adolescent dolphin named Peter, who at times got so horny that they weren't able to continue the experiments. So at first, they transfer him to a female tank and they just go at it, but it was so much work that one scientist, a lady named Margaret Howe Lovett, was like, okay, this is too much work. I'm just gonna jerk Peter off and get on with the experiments. So she gave him hand jarbs. She was also dedicated to it, so much so that she set up a bed in the center and slept there and had an office there. The study was involving injecting dolphins with LSD. Boy, this sounds like the military without the hand jobs. Or, maybe without the, same-sex hand jobs. Hey, if y'all want some same-sex hand jobs, hey, baby, military is for you. I'm kidding. Am I? Look, the study involved LSD. You're giving dolphins LSD trying to get them to talk. We can't get LSD, but the dolphins can get it. Somehow it got to the point where Lovett was jerking a dolphin and ended up in a Hustler magazine article in an exaggerated and dramatized story. Shortly after this, for obvious reasons, the study was discontinued. Peter was then put in an isolated tank, and as dolphins are social animals, he got depressed. So Peter committed suicide by going to the bottom of his tank and not going up for air? I learned about this after I learned a Saturday Night Live skit was based on these events. We obviously can't watch this, but oh, this is way too new school. That's why I'd never have heard of it. Who's still watching SNL? Ugh. The thing is, SNL used to have like Bill Hader and Chris Parnell and all these badasses on there. Fred Armisen was on that bitch. Amy Poehler. It's hard to remember. It's almost like a different lifetime when you think back on it. Amy Poehler used to be on fucking Saturday Night Live. Tina Fey used to be on fucking Saturday Night Live. Seems like a genuine lifetime ago. Oh boy. Shit happens. How is everybody doing? You guys having a good night? Did you have a good day? Did you eat well? I've been having cramps. I mean, like bad cramps, like cramps that don't make sense for a man. Like if I were a lady, I'd be terrified that I was pregnant cramps. Pretty bad stuff. And then I'm in like this weird loop where it's like my stomach hurts, but I want to take something, like an Aleve or something to make it so the pain may subside. And it's crazy. Pain is going overboard. It's not a pain. It's like a pressure. It's almost as though I gotta pass gas. I gotta burp it up. I gotta relieve some shit going on in there. But, I can't, I try to burp. I try to the other one. And it's not really relieving any pressure. It just feels like, I don't know. I wouldn't call myself bloated, but damn. And the cycle is, okay, your stomach doesn't feel great. You can take something for your stomach, but you need to eat. But to eat, my stomach already feels like shit. I'm going to eat? Ridiculous. Because if I take the damn leave and it goes on an empty stomach now. Mr. Knight says drink coffee. I don't really know anything about coffee. Will it work with a frozen coffee? If I go get a caramel frappuccino. I love those. Those work for me. But I don't like coffee, bro. Caramel frappuccino is probably just a bunch of sugar and an icy drink, isn't it? And put the whipped cream on it. I like it with the whipped cream so that you can get the caramel on there too. And then I use my straw and then I lick it. I need to get Marvel Avengers for the PS4 so I can dedicate myself to something I almost said respectable, but I guess the better term is more respectable than talking about licking straw that I dip into whipped cream and caramel on top of a caramel frappuccino that I asked if was okay in mitigating stomach pain when they suggested coffee. What a world. As we continue up this list, we arrive at number 18. Enough with the trying to teach dolphins to speak with LSD and hand jobs. And here we are. When the Mao visited USSR for the first time, Stalin commissioned a special toilet to harvest his poop. As you do. The funny thing is, South Park jokingly had an episode of this where I think it was like Tom Brady or some athlete where they were trying to get his poop because the, belief was that, with him being as athletic as he is and capable, that if they could just get his excrement, that they'd be able to enhance themselves and make themselves like him. Who knows? Ridiculous. It's genuinely ridiculous. Oh my god. Hold on. Wait, is Ibuki the same person that changed their name? Yeah. They had another name. I was going to thank somebody else in the stream chat because, not the stream chat, the Discord, because they boosted the level of the Discord. But then they changed their name, so I realized I'd be thanking the same person again, but by a different name. That's big titty stuff right there. Danny says, there's something beeping in my house and I can't find it, so I'm slowly descending into madness. That's how my day is going. The beeping is likely coming from a smoke detector that is running out of battery. They kind of just go off when their battery is depleting. If you go stand near some of the smoke detectors, 9 times out of 10, one of them's the one making the noise. But I implore you, actually get the very inconvenient type of battery that goes in there and replace it, as opposed to, just taking it out because you're sick of the noise and letting it stay there. That's how we all die. But maybe they shouldn't have made those batteries so fucking weird, 2 AA batteries would have made a hell of a lot more sense than whatever that square battery is that nobody has. Danbu says, I checked them all and they're fine. But did you do it? You're thinking with your brain. You need to think with like your chest and your butt. That's how I get through my day. I agree, 9 volts suck. It's weird because, even girls' dildos don't use 9 volts. It's just, think about the amount of things that use a 9 volt battery. It kills me. What uses a 9 volt battery? Kyle asked the internet. What things use a 9 volt battery? The 9 volt battery or 9 volt battery is Did you really just go on that? Okay. The 9 volt or the 9 volt is a battery that was introduced for the early transistor radios. It has a rectangular prism shape with round edges and a polarized snap connector at the top. I didn't ask you what it was, cunt. I asked you what uses it. What objects use a 9 volt battery? A detector for locating pipes and wiring hidden in walls. Sinclair frequency meters from the 1980s. It sounds about right. It sounds like this is a holdover. It sounds like the 9 volt is inconvenient to us because it is irrelevant as far as the progression of our modern technology. It doesn't fit. Batteries and literally everything else are so microscopic, or at the very least flat, that they don't play these games. You understand? Like, you imagine if our phones were running on 9 volts or something stupid like that? It's just unrealistic. They run on much flatter, much more efficient, vaguely explosive fucking batteries. That's what's up. Just like this PP, might explode. Number 7, teen. Human females are the only mammals with permanent breasts. What do you mean? Oh, no, you can't say it like that. Because the breasts are always there. They're just not as big or as full, And even when you think of like a cat or a dog, after they have their pregnancy and the breasts are full of milk, when they're not full of milk anymore, those titties are still saggy, empty bags. They're there. They're just not filled. And I don't like the way that that's phrased. I believe that this is blasphemous as it pertains to breasts. The implication meaning that they're non-existent at certain portions. Temporary breasts. Ugh. Might as well be talking about 9 volt this whole entry is a 9 volt battery of the entries. You don't see me downvoting things often, but there it is. Jeez. How do you like that post with 2,000 upvotes? You just took my hot down vote. You're welcome. Number 16. Male anglerfish bite females to mate. Nice. They basically latch on to a much larger female and their bodies kind of fuse? Oh my god. Imagine if this is how human mating worked. Ooh, y'all girls wouldn't be able to escape the incels that orbit you. Ooh, they just grab onto you and then you fuse. The male loses some organs since he solely depends on the female now. He isn't even a separate fish anymore. The male gets nutrients from her, and she gets access to sperm whenever she wants. No. What kind of anime shit is that going on? These fish are fucking horrifying creatures. Oh, thanks for the spooky video red circle to let us know what we're looking for. Is that how small the male is compared to the women? I think this is like a visual depiction of some women versus some men's egos. And it's pretty impressive because men have a pretty big ego sometimes, but compared to a woman, shit. Y'all online presence these days. I think a lot of you girls watching these videos are somehow down to earth enough to not stick your dick too hard into the internet. And if you are, you're doing it for a laugh, but some of these hoes out here are really considering themselves like TikTok stars and Instagram celebrities and shit like that, to a point that's like intoxicatingly lacking in self-awareness These like I like some of the people that I watch, not watch like online, but watch like peripherally, like they're on my Snapchat. They're the types of people who you would see a screen grab from. You ever see like a business go, oh, I always get these assholes coming in talking about, oh, well, you should do this for free and I'll do it for clout. Like, I want you to take photos at my wedding. But I have a lot of Instagram followers, so, you know, you should just do it for clout. Like, oh, I'm coming to the stay near where your hotel is. So, you know, if you just let me stay there for free, I will take pictures and then the clout, you know, some bullshit. They're just that up their own ass where somehow they do mental gymnastics around the fact that they broke ass trying to get shit for free. That's not what people who are successful need to do. You know what I mean? But they're like, my clout. Now listen to me choose and beg on that ass. Number 15. Scary ass fusing fish. Always hold a human head with 2 hands. You couldn't, as if you were Shaq, you shouldn't be trying to hold a human head with 1 hand. Yes, a head is about the size and weight of a bowling ball, so you'd think it'd be no deal to hold it with 1 hand. However, due to the weight not being spread evenly, chances are you'll drop it, and no one wants to be the person who drops somebody's head. Well, who is so, I don't know, man. Who are you trying to impress, handling a head with 1 hand? It's the real question. What girl is going to be like, oh my God, 1 hand? Number 14. Hexacosio. Nope. Try that again. Hexacosioi, hexaconta, hexaphobia is the fear of the number 666. So they put hex in there 6 times. It's fucked up. They made the whole thing read like an incantation, like a curse. Hexacosioi, hexacona, hexaphobia. It's Leviosa, you bitch. Oh my God. At least it's not the fear of saying long words. Yes, I know the word by heart, and no, it has never been used in 15 years. Is 15 years like when you learned it, or are you 15 years old? The world may never know. What's going on in your life, chat? What are you anticipating? What are you excited about? What's coming up in your future that you can barely contain your excitement about? Is it so gangster that you can't say? Say that it's going to be dope if you can't say what it is, because it's so cool that, you know, you can't really betray information about that stuff online. Have you done anything today that would make your NSA agent that watches you on the daily basis go, what the fuck? That's not normal. What's going on? What is he planning? Is this the same guy? You know? Body snatchers. Number 13. A group of ferrets is called a business. I wonder what they've been planning. Smelling gross and not being, you can't wash ferrets a bunch either. Number 12. I used to know the mathematical formula for hanging someone. Then I brought it up a couple of times in conversation with friends, and now I don't know it anymore because apparently people don't want to know how much force it'll take to snap their neck. I think the funny thing about some people is, like, with a considerable amount of people on the spectrum, there is a lack of understanding. Like, people can't perceive or hear to understand when they're saying something that is, I wouldn't say crossing a line or is going to make other people uncomfortable, but it's just something nobody wants to hear, you know? There's a time and a place for everything, and you bringing down the room with certain information or topics when everybody's trying to have a good time or everybody is kind of neatly talking about one thing, it's I guess it's just an acquired social grace. You got to know when and when not to. And I don't know. Again, there's some things that, it's just like a cool thing to know. Here's a little bit of this, but you gotta discern who you're dealing with and whether or not they'd like to hear it. You talking to some hot goth bitch and you're just like, I was in a fucking graveyard and you won't believe what I saw. She's gonna be down with that. But you run into a Stacy, halfway out the Starbucks. She got the yoga mat on her back and you're telling her about, the types of stones that you collect or some bullshit like that. Unless they're gems and you're gonna tell her how they actually like correct her chi or some stupid shit like that. Keep it broad. Talk about star signs. That's what ladies like. Star signs are like the smiley faces of IRL. Oh yeah. Sierra Mist says, closing at work. We were slammed all night. That's how Sierra Mist likes it. Because we were the only place that didn't lose power from the hurricane. Holy shit, I didn't know that you were in an affected area, and I'm glad that you're safe. Can't wait to be home. At least I can listen to Kyle. Very sweet of you to allow this to roll through. Danny Boo says, where's Dia? If you guys hold yourselves and wish hard enough, Dia is always there with you. In your heart. In your soul. Dia is not convinced that Marvel Avengers is something she's even wanting to participate in with me, when it's going to be so fun and it's going to be so cool and it's going to be so dope. And Spider-Man on PS4, which is pissing off all of the PC and Xbox assholes. But I found a video from 13 years ago when Xbox got 8 exclusive heroes and nobody else was fucking losing their mind because they didn't give a damn then, but now they give a damn because, I've watched a couple of MCU movies and now I care about Spider-Man, but you didn't care about it before. And you want to know when this shit's going to change? When people start voting with their wallets and not buying all of this stupid shit. But are they going to do that? No. Because it's like, y'all are, protesting out of the side of your mouth, but at the same time, continuing to buy. Anyway, I'm just trying to play that game, all right? And it looks like I'm running out of people to play with. So if you are a hot bastard, and you think that you've got the filthy mouth, I'm kidding, not filthy. We got to balance me out. If you think you have the rapport to play with me and allow me to, I don't know, monetize your ass. That's right. I'm kidding. Or you could just be, I like to think of like the worst possible match for me, and it'd probably be Bradley. So wherever Bradley is, I hope when he listens to this, he heard that I said that. If we were like talking, it would just be like, you know what I mean? As opposed to us being able to really have any kind of banter. It would just be like, oh my God. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. Mr. Knight says, I only have enough room in my heart for Jesus. Jesus. But Kyle, you say you were with me, but when I looked back, I only saw one set of footprints. My child, it was then that I carried you. Wow. Number 11. Your adult teeth are directly under your eyes when you are a child. You should have seen like the meme face I put on while I was trying to visualize it. It was like, and then below the eyes, like, it's not that complicated. I should have been able to quickly and easily visualize that. We probably have a row of teeth stacked atop the other teeth, waiting to descend. That shit's creepy, and we as animals are scary. Because any kind of complication could cause those teeth to grow like outward, or to grow too fast and knock out the other teeth, or to grow over the teeth like a teeth layer. Like one tooth is in front of the other tooth. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ. It could happen to you. Number 10. During World War II, the American government paid $1 per Japanese soldier head to Filipino soldiers for hire. They ran out of room to store the heads and started accepting sets of ears as proof. Well, see, this is where the handling the head with two hands comes in handy. Probably trying to handle those heads with one hand and they dropping the heads. Oh, drop the head. We're running out of room for these heads. We're running out of room for these heads. I keep trying to tell you. I mean, we got it. We're paying them. Tell them to scalp them. Scalps? What are you sick? You gross just scalp the guy? At least with the neck, it's a couple of clean. You're carving them up. Yours is gross. The scalp. How about we get ears? That'd be hilarious. I got some jokes. I got some real funny jokes that I can make hey, bring ears from now. Hey, do you speak this guy? Hey, listen, you listening to me? Look at my ears. Look at my ears. Does he understand that I need the ears, or is he just thinking I'm wanting him to listen? Because I'm pointing at my ear. How long is this bit going to go on? As we go on to number 9, all right? There is a person whose job it is to make fake poop for porn. Poop and porn. Fake poop, though. I never even thought that there would be some girls that, of course, they were beautiful, so that's what people would want, but they're also looking for a paycheck. So they're going to do poop stuff, but not real poop. I never even thought of that. I guess as it's not a type of let's get through the century. I don't even want to think about this. There were some very niche exceptions in the homemade market. A lot of it is fake, however. There is someone who has to specialize in mastering various colors, consistencies, shapes, and textures to implant. Yeah, get it all up there. We got the icing spreader. Just gonna pump it up there. Pump it up. Big titty time. Oh no. So there it is, our cursed entry for the night. Number 8. Hitler added sugar to his wine. What a demon. What a demon. Was he telling people it was sugar and it was actually cocaine? You know? What a monster. Sure. Scheisse. It's not sugary enough. This hurts me a little bit. Number 7. Those bugs that you see walking on top of the water are serial rapists that will grab a female and hold her down and start tapping the water, attracting a fish, killing them both unless the female agrees to mate. That's some pretty all-in shit there, isn't it? Because what impresses me is that the little bastard goes, we can both die. We can both die out here. We can both die. Is it worth it? That's disgusting. They're little, it's instinct though. They don't possess the capacity for, recognition of wrong and right. It's crazy how because our brains are big enough, we of course, have found our way into a society where we recognize consent. But the idea that in the animal kingdom, it's like, guess what, bitch? You fucking, or you can die. You fucking, or we can both die. I don't give a fuck, but you about to give up that fuck. You like to breathe? You gonna be liking something else. I don't really care. I'm a bug on top of the water. That is so vague. That is so vague, man. That could be any number of things. This thing says, or this person responds, similarly, bedbugs have a penis that is basically like a needle. They mate by stabbing a female bedbug. Apparently, the name of this type of mating is called traumatic insemination. Wow. 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 Mr. Knight says, if I can't have you, no one can. I've heard that from an ex before. Literally heard those words from an ex. If you ever hear those words from anybody, you better get the fuck out of here at your earliest convenience, boy. Nas says, I had an adult tooth pop up in the top corner of my baby tooth. It came down on its very own over time. Terrifying. These things are terrifying, you know? Oh my god. It's Brakir.
If their brains were big enough, this would still be their right.
What do you mean if their brains were big enough? We're getting into a hypothetical conversation about whether or not the bugs on the surface of the water would still have the right to, you know, take. And it's weird because we don't impose our will on the animal kingdom. So the question would be, if they were a race that considered themselves cognizant, and maybe they even had a capacity for communication with us, would it be something that we should impose on them, our will? Or would it be something that we are forced to be indifferent to? Sometimes I see ducks on the side of a pond, you know, and it's always forceful, you know? Those ducks, they really just take a duck and they do what they do until they're done. And, you know, we see that and we recognize that as just the animal kingdom. You know, the circle of life. That's how shit goes, huh? But, yeah, as far as we're concerned, with all of our walking around wearing clothes and shit, you know, it's consent time, baby. And the more we talk about it, the more I feel like it's going to make me seem as if I wonder if consent was a mistake. Of course, I don't think that, you know. It would take a really nice, big, perky pair of titties for me to actually confuse whether or not, you know. I'm kidding. You know, but some guys aren't. Some guys that, you know, shit. That's why it's terrifying, the idea that they could just latch onto you and that'd be it. Number 6, it takes about 240 leeches, talking about latching, to kill the average human. Just 240. I think most of y'all could catch about that much. It takes about 500 leeches to drain them completely dry. How has this not been done in a Saw movie? Huh. Intriguing. Well, you know. Damn Brakir. He says, too bad Star Trek didn't have the guts to go there. Bell's talking about the big suck. Look, I know you're a professional, Bell, but stop teasing the people in the chat with what they can't enjoy. My mouth was so dry just now.
Too bad Star Trek didn't have the guts to go there. Ghost.
Bell, you can't even talk about a class war like that's like not how a lot of movies end. You know? If I were a more capable content creator on this platform, I would isolate and talk about many movies that seem to be flexing on us. What do I mean when I say that? I'm going to try my best to be very concise. Many movies that get made are kind of happy-go-lucky pieces of garbage, which is why a lot of men or people that consider themselves capable of thought, sorry, my body's like having a negative reaction even talking about it. We hate rom-coms because rom-coms are almost like the bottom of the barrel. Yes, I agree to a certain extent that a lot of the action movies that come out are just garbage. They're what we call schlock. And they're just like low, bottom of the barrel type of shut your brain off, go watch big explosion and car chase and type bullshit. You know what I mean? And that works for us men. So I'm not critical of the women for liking these happy-go-lucky guy meets girl and then they live happily ever after scenarios. You know what I mean? Because what we go to the movie theaters or to watch certain movies for is escapism. So if that's what you want and that's what you're looking for, you know, supply and demand, there it is, you got it. However, if we were to all be realistic, we'd know that many of these movies, like, if it were following somebody, that person would probably just die in a car accident in the middle of the movie, and then it'd be over and nothing would get concluded. And that would be closer to real life than anything. However, when I say that some of the movies in Hollywood seem to be flexing on a lot of us, it kind of paints a picture of multiple classes. You know, you're poor, you're pretty much in the middle, and you're rich. And then it tells a story of these people recognizing their class, of these people definitely wanting to do something about their class, and their status, of these people recognizing how to get out, what to do to the rich people, and basically just changing the status quo by the end of the film. But it's made by the assholes who run the show, who paint the narrative, and who are rich themselves. And it's like, some of these people genuinely are living like a fucking hilarious fantasy, where imagine like you rich, but you consume a lot of rap, so you want to be perceived as a thug, so you wearing baggy clothes and got a gun and all kind of bullshit, and you trying to represent the hood, but in reality you don't know shit about that. That's kind of like what it is when you see a lot of these stuffy, awkward, you know, born into money, rich because their daddy rich bastards that's like, oh, I'm gonna direct a movie. You know, I found a screenwriter and we got this idea of, it's about this guy and he's from the streets and he's trying to make a name for himself, but he sees that everything's unfair. But he's gonna get up the way that he sees the people at the top get up. He's gonna be manipulative and deceitful and deceptive. But when he gets up there, he's going to be benevolent. He's going to be Robin Hood. He's going to be what they should be, but what he isn't. And it's made by these fucking rich bastards. It's like, what are you people doing? You know what I mean? And is it ironic? A lot of y'all self-aware? Is it tongue-in-cheek? And this is like, hey, I bet you these stupid-ass poor people will eat this kind of stupid story up because they bet they wish they could reach out of their freaking means. You know what I mean? Or do they genuinely make it wanting to be like these people? You know, the same way that some of these people want to be a black dude, want to be somebody from the hood. There's so many movies like this, and it's so on the nose sometimes as far as lacking subtlety. I really want to talk about a certain movie, but I'm not going to go into it. It's got DiCaprio in it. It's pretty old too. Not old, obviously. But that's a weird movie. Because it's like, what are you saying? You're painting a really accurate picture of the way shit's going on right now. A real accurate picture. And if anybody can guess the movie within three guesses, I'm gonna be real proud of your ass. Guess the movie I'm talking about with DiCaprio in it that paints way too accurate a picture of what the hell was and pretty much is going on. It's not that, Mr. Knight. I'm gonna give 2 more chances to the stream chat here. I can tell you too if you want me to tell you. Clee Torres says, are you talking about the Shakespearean movie with Leonardo DiCaprio? Shakespearean, my dude. No, Linda, not Shutter Island. I mean, there's a bit of interesting, you know, things going on in Shutter Island, but no. And remember, I'm talking about class. I feel like this movie's a bit before you guys. So no disrespect to any of you, the movie's probably over 15 years old. Straight the fuck up. And the movie's called Gangs of New York, ladies and gentlemen. And if you haven't seen that movie, I recommend you look at a review of that movie. And maybe in another list we'll talk about it. But you've probably watched something where, you know, they paint so accurate a description of the people that are representing a certain class or a certain group that you think they could never even get away with this today, you know? And many think about it like this: a lot of forms of media that we watch always paint the police as incompetent. But it's always played for laughs, like it's a joke, you know. But when you think about it though, and obviously not all cops, that's the problem. Not all cops, but an alarming majority, it seems. And it's not just, what's making it into the media, or even before all of this went down. It's just like, God damn, some shit goes down, and what are we gonna hope that? I mean, they're limited. Obviously, they're not all psychics and shit like that. But there's that. I like Belle. She's like, "What's your favorite bad movie?" Belle in the tub. Belle in the hotness. Ugh. Clitoris says, "Are you talking about?" You know, I feel like this dude could have been talking about what I'm saying. I mean, like, he may have been guessing. He may have been guessing it. Shakespearean, I don't know, but maybe in his mind, that's how he thinks of it. Why would you ever imply that Starship Troopers is a bad movie? Starship Troopers is super aware of what it is. Super aware of what it is. Starship Troopers is borderline mocking the people that made that movie. Not made the movie, that allowed the movie to be produced. Starship Troopers is the type of movie where you're making jokes at people's expense, and if they're aware of what you're doing, they'd never let it slide. It's kind of like it's like YouTube these days, honestly, where we just got to watch our mouth with everything, because Attack of the Clones is bad, but why would you choose that one over No, you're right, because that's when I could pull that shit up right now. That's when Anakin becomes awkward. And that's like that's why I'm so in love with you part. That shit blows my mind. It's because I am so in love with you. I can't watch that scene and not laugh, no matter how many times. Okay. Anakin says, "You are so beautiful."
It's only because I'm so in love.
No, it's because I'm so in love with you.
Then love has blinded you?
Well, that's not exactly what I meant.
But it's probably true.
Awful. Yo. Episode 2 has the sand quote too. Oh man. They just rolling out the hits in that movie. You have to wonder if like Lucas was laughing writing this shit, man. Come on. Lucas doesn't care. Okay, number 5. A group of frogs is called an army. I lost a trivia game because of this question, and I'm still upset about it. A bunch of frogs is called an army. That's pretty cool, man. It's coarse, you know. Gets everywhere. Number 4. Butterflies taste with their back legs. So whenever a butterfly is on a dog's nose, they just having a taste. Ew. Butterflies have photoreceptors on their genitals, and without them, they can't breed or lay eggs in the right place. What the hell are photoreceptors? Meaning like a means to see. The vaginas have eyes. The vaginas have eyes. Big titty number 3. that people with FOP, where your muscles and tissue turn to bone, eventually have to decide whether they want to become a frozen, flat, or standing, or in a sitting position. That is so sad. That is so sad, where you have a condition where your bones, where your muscle tissue is turning to bone. So, before it fully happens, you have to decide which way you're planning to be frozen. That is just, it's terrifying. It's tragic. That hurts. Damn, y'all gonna destroy Justin. The stream bars. Brakir says, Last Jedi is the worst movie. We really don't talk about the new Star Wars movies here. They went first with their agenda, and that is that. And hey, it's funny, those characters might have been entertaining or interesting enough to do some shit with, but they really went all in on Rey, and ain't nobody got time for that. Adam Driver's a really capable actor too, but they gave him shit to work with, so that's what happens. Imagine having like the best paintbrush in the world, but you don't have any hands. You're trying to paint with your mouth for the first time or something. Nuts. Nas says, how would you prefer to be frozen standing or laying? No, or you're saying how would we prefer to be frozen? Standing or sitting down? I think sitting down makes more sense. But I guess then we'd always be sleeping in like kind of like a fetal position. Jesus, it just sounds so terrible. Belle, why do you think you're gonna get unfrozen, sweetie? I think you've just misunderstood this whole thing. You poor pretty girl. No, your muscles are turning to bones. So you're going to be stuck this way permanently, and you have to make the terrible choice to see when you're going to be stuck, sitting forever, or in the seated position forever, or, flat or standing, forever. Oh, boy. 2 more entries, man. I'm trying to get out of here. I feel like weird. I feel hungry, I guess, finally. I feel hungry now. Imagine poop standing up. Wow. Just get the bag. Just get the bag. That's a song and dance. If your muscles are turning to bone, taking a crap is a song and dance, man. Just get the bag. Get the colostomy bag. Oh, boy. It's a really sad, Ugh. Number 2, it takes 21 seconds to empty a full bladder for most mammals, regardless of your size. So an elephant will take the same amount of time to pee as a cat. But can it pee on the cat? Excuse me, this dude says today I learned I can out-pee an elephant. Time-wise. Time-wise. Titty time. Number 1. This list is almost done. Number 1. There are 10 different classifications of necrophilia, ranging in intensity, legality, and destructiveness. I like that there's a classification of necrophilia where, hey, it's technically legal. What kinds of necrophilia are legal? Legal necrophilia? Bitch, you brave enough to have that on stream? Man, I hope somebody got perky titties for that one, because you could have just shut this whole operation down. Necrophilia is prosecutable in a variety of different ways across the United States. Unlike the United Kingdom, which has an explicit and robust anti-necrophilia law under the Sexual Offenses Act, the United States has no such central legislation. Is necrophilia illegal in Florida? having sex with a dead body would be illegal under a bill approved on Wednesday by Florida Senate. This is 1996. It took them till the 90s to get around to it, huh? If we even did get around to it. It makes me wonder, you know? If you banged somebody obviously against their own will, they can charge you for that naturally. If you killed them, they can charge you for that naturally. But what happens when you mix up the order of those? If necrophilia isn't a crime. This isn't a person, and a dead body can't consent. It's just a container now, dudes. A big titty container. Activate your edibles. Somebody say you gotta say this edible ain't shit to activate it. Edible activating. This is all lame. Yeah, y'all saw that explosion today? That shit was crazy, boy. Oh my god. That shockwave, dude. It's movie tier shit. That shockwave is movie tier shit. And then look at the stuff off the building tops. You know? Like somebody made a model for the sake of this. Oh my god. The shockwave. That's crazy. Guys, I love you. You'll probably see me in the wee hours of the morning when I decide to come back, because Fortnite's going to put in their cars, so I just want to drive over some kids. What's the big deal? Video game, man. It's not real. By Friday night, the Marvel Avengers beta will be live. I'm going to be playing that, see what the game's like, because it comes out next month, but the beta will be available at the end of this week. Oh boy. What are you guys on about? Sierra missed sitting so I can poop comfortably. Oh, still that guy. Linda says, destructive necrophilia. What the fuck do you do to them, you monster? You probably pull parts of them off. And then, you know, I really don't want to say, but, you know, say if the head was severed, that creates new holes, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's not, we don't need to get into it, you know. Belle says, I saw this crime drama that necrophilia can be just treating a corpse like a friend. It's like a friendship fatality in fucking... Darling, treating a corpse like a friend, what does it mean? You know? Did you remember its birthday? You have a very ridiculous way of speaking. No offense. I don't mean it in a rude way. I just think treating a corpse like a friend, you can't say that. Do you mean posing the corpse for a lunch that you're gonna have? Do you mean dressing the corpse? Because I have news for you. Friendship is a two-way street. I can treat you and your titties like a friend unless you are interested and mutually wanting it back. I am just a creeper. You could call me a stalker. You could call me some sort of, you know, I'm harassing you. If it's not mutual, there is no friendship. So I'm trying to figure out what treating a corpse like a friend is if it's a one-way thing. You are just putting on a puppet show is what you're doing. You're dressing that motherfucker. You could walk that corpse down the street hand in hand. You know, a really stiff walk for one of you. It wouldn't make that thing your friend. Did you remember the corpse's birthday? That's pretty good, Kyle. But nobody's going to appreciate that joke but you. Nobody. Because if anything can be said about a corpse, you may not remember his birthday, but you remember his death day. You'll remember it every single time you're dealing with him. Get some of that air freshener in here. This is getting ridiculous. Speaking of eliminating rejection, If you guys want to be a part of my really hot roleplay where we're all bugs of the variety that, you know, walk on water because we are fucking with surface tension, you know, and you're all like, oh my god, my clothes just came off. I'm a bug, Kyle. What am I gonna do? And I'll be all like, do you want to sleep with the fishes tonight? Or do you want to sleep with me? Bruh. Yeah. Bruh. Sleep with the fishes. We can both sleep with the fishes. It's diabolical. It's diabolical. Damn, what did Menace go on about that got his stupid ass hidden? Well, I guess if there's more comments like that, then he knows what came to him. Oh boy. Weekend at Bernie's. I really like it. I think we're good. You guys will catch me soon. I'm going to be trying to end the world in various and interesting ways. Not genuinely. You know. Do me a favor. Get in the Discord where you can get some notifications of when the streams are going to go live. Snapchat me or DM me in Discord anything interesting that's going on, because I'm trying my best to stay abreast of what's going down, and maybe, just maybe, I can pop out a video while that's happening. I normally don't care enough to get directly involved with a lot of things, but boy oh boy did I have the time of my life recently when Spider-Man was announced for this Marvel game, this Avengers game that's coming out on PC, Xbox, and PS4. But Spider-Man has been announced as an exclusive for the PS4 version. People lost their fucking minds, dude. There were people who were trying to, like, they were like, I own all of them. That's right, I own a PS4 as well, but I recognize this as anti-consumer. And everybody is on the same fucking page, my dude. But the only way that something is going to change is if these people put their money where their fucking mouth is. Talk is one thing. But unless they feel that loss, it's not going to stop them from having this kind of shit happen again. So it's just amusing to see people get so up their own asses about something so trivial in the grand scheme. 2020 is a year of nightmares. And if you're going to get upset about something, is it going to be Spider-Man in a video game? Is it? You know, not to trivialize or to say that this is any less wrong than it is, but ooh-wee. Spider-Man PS4 was exclusively on the PS4. Nobody raised an eyelash. You know, I raise you 10 eyelashes. I keep them in this jar. That'd be pretty cursed. I hope nobody has a voodoo doll of me. The only dolls I want you guys to have of me are life-size, anatomically correct dolls that you use when nobody's looking, you know? Doesn't need to get voodoo-y. Come on. Okay? I like breathing and living, and I don't mean you any harm, and hopefully you can return that sentiment. I wish you all a wonderful and explosive afternoon, evening, morning, night, whenever you're watching this. Leave a comment if you're watching it after the fact, like the video if you're watching it at all. And just take it easy. I believe in you. I love you. You'll catch me soon. Stay out of trouble. And have a wonderful night. Thank you again. Take it easy. Brickier, you're amazing. Thank you to the patrons and the sponsors. You'll see me in less than 24 hours. Okay, bye.